Thank you so much for holding fort for this session this afternoon, and of course, so much anxiety, as Harpreet said, in terms of the mock drill as well. So I can see a fair amount of people leaving the audience as well. But I think for all those inside the audience, how many of you guys, raise of hands, who's bought a product in the last 10 days, seeing some influencer or some piece of content? In the last 1 month? Just today? So practically we're living a life where clearly I think it's the power of the word of someone whom somewhere is speaking to us in our perhaps tone of voice, or is being honest with us, or is resonating with us, which is making this huge impact. And I'm going to start by asking a question pretty much starting in the same order as well. So I think, Anupam, I think my question to you is, how important is it in terms of from a marketing standpoint of this whole new beast called influencer marketing in your marketing mix?
Influencer marketing is no more what we used to do 5 years before, which is just a hype or a trend, but it has now come as a core strategy of marketing. You can't do without it. It's in a very, very layman way. If you say it's part of your media mix in every meeting, in every campaign, and every strat. So and the way media consumption has been changing in last couple of years, primarily digital, linear TV, and the way consumer consumption has changed on platforms and their buying patterns, you really can't do without this. There's no way you can actually build a brand in today's day and age without.
So gone are the days when 4 or 5 years back for a CMO, for Anupam to sort of say that I got my tick mark, appraisal acha ho jayega, saying I did it, to the fact of saying it's not about just doing it, but it's about doing it with rigor and doing it with passion, doing it with love.
Now you don't have to convince your founder or your CMO for influencer marketing budgets, for sure.
Okay, so when you say budgets, I'm going to now straight go to Harpreet. Harpreet, tell us very, very, very honestly, as a influencer, how often has someone told you, ma'am, ये time budget बहुत कम है, please आप इतने में कर लो?
As of an hour back, like everybody, all brands say that. And I find it so funny, when we do that push and pull, we ultimately come to a much higher number. But I don't understand why we start like that. Why? Brands know what we charge. We know what brand budget should be, approximately. Why do this with us? We really put our heart.
So don't we think that we've always lived in a society like India where we sort of go in the traditional sense, we go to the mandi and buy vegetables, right? And then we do the negotiation. But on Flipkart, we can't do the negotiation at all, right? For cabbage or whatever as well. So you think for the influencer world as well, we should have a rate card saying, pick me at this price or don't negotiate, or I won't give you mirchi dhania free.
So what we do, we are very clear with our agencies that this is what we charge and I deserve that price. And if it doesn't work out another time, and I'm so glad we have IIGC in place now, So at least there's someone to talk from influencer side also. So there's no negotiation, we say.
We've got someone, astute gentleman amongst us who has recently broken an extremely large campaign, having none other than the king of Bollywood as their ambassador as well. Now, this ambassador plays a pivotal role and still is someone who influences purchase as well. What is that sort of, I think, kind of line to draw between celebrity and influencer, and sort of how do you sort of, I think, is there a line at all, or as a marketer, you see them as constant?
See, thanks for bringing that up. In fact, I guess very pertinent question, especially with brands and brand custodians who have, both celebrities at one level, and of course the perils of having to go through every media, not just influencers. And it's not one versus the other. Let's keep, when you start with any format of marketing, it's consumer centricity at the heart of it. Today, the consumer has umpteen more options to be reached out to expect marketers to engage with her. Now for that, you have various modes. People with various leverage, people with various devices of engagement. A celebrity has a very different orbit of engagement. A celebrity, many a times, if not used well, can make your brand seem alien to the very consumption audience who you want to buy. I don't intend to name, but there have been decades back when there have been car manufacturers who took the best of celebrities and alienated that audience. Because the audience never believed this person is going to drive this car, or this person is going to mean to consume this product. It still happens. At the same time, there is this whole ecosystem of creators, content creators, influencers, name the way you want to term them. In all positivity, that ecosystem has helped us reach out to the end consumer in a far stronger manner. So it's not one versus the other. It's a very complementary sort of ecosystem if used right. Because they suddenly dispel, especially if your brand is positioned on the premium end of the spectrum or on an end of the spectrum where there is very little to do with branding. You are suddenly introducing a product both from the so-called 30,000 feet to something which is right in your kitchen or to something which is accessible to you because there are people like me in the format of content creators who are using it. So it's a very, very complementary ecosystem. It's not an alienating ecosystem. And honestly speaking, it bridges the gap between what people wanted, which was word of mouth, today to actually influence that word of mouth. While we all wanted word of mouth, 10 years back, probably we did not have enough access to influence that word of mouth. Today, we have people like us, people like mirror images of the audience we want to reach, helping us build that ecosystem. And that's where it's a very complementary sort of ecosystem.
Fantastic. Lovely words, of course. Vidushi, I think we were making a little point a little earlier, saying that, and it's sort of for the audience, again, little question. How many of us in the audience know there's something called second-hand perfumes?
No, not second hand.
First copy.
Second copy.
First copy or second copy.
Second copy. Okay.
First copy.
And these products today are actually being put out by a lot of influential people, influential content creators, and celebrities as well. So we have on one side that, and yet I think the kind of different sort of brands, and Vidushi, of course, I'm going to gravitate towards you saying that you're in a space which is making great products available to the masses. Having said that, then how important is it for you to choose the influencer rightly to sort of say that she or he is actually going to use that product? Do you all get into any of those discussions with the creators as well?
Yeah, in fact, I would answer that from two perspectives. One is where the brand actually, onboards an influencer or a content creator to create content and talk about the products. Fortunately, in the brand like ours, which is into beauty, what happens is that we get a lot of organic content by content creators. We get a lot of love by content creators directly, which when I talk about beauty and personal care overall as a category, in personal care, I haven't seen that happening quite often. But for that matter, a makeup brand like ours, in beauty, that happens very, very commonly. In fact, to give you an example, we launched last year, December, one of our products, which did really well, which was a holographic eyeliner. And some of the best macro creators, beauty creators out there, had organically put out videos out there on the internet. And I was taken aback by, these were single videos just talking about how great the product is. So today, the ecosystem that we play in, while, of course, it's brands who are also approaching and onboarding beauty creators, but a lot of creators are themselves, recommending products. They are also helping their audience discover the right products and with the right features, which as per the affinity of the audience that follows them.
Lovely to hear that. Harpreet, you sort of do endorse certain beauty products, and you're sort of wearing some of them today as well. How close is that relationship as a creator with some of those companies that you worked with? Is it a sort of relationship which is for that one particular post or two posts, or does it happen for a much longer period of time?
So for today's example, I'll tell you, I'm shooting with a beauty brand in about 4 days, and I told them that I would like to try the product for at least a week on my face to understand that what it does to me. And if I get no allergic, because it's a beauty brand, one, it's an Indian brand, and they've launched new products. I don't know what's the efficacy, how good they are. If I develop a rash, if I've not tried the product, and a consumer develops a rash because I have not tried it, it's a big showdown on me. It's a trust I've built in my community. So I'm using the product. I've used them for the last 4 days. And touch wood, it's been doing very well. It's flawless makeup I'm seeing. And I'm very happy now that Make in India product ko main endorse karne wali. It gives me an immense joy when I do that. Second is, I work with a lot of brands, Kushal, which are from, I think, 5 years or 7 years. My association has been with them. Every year, we renew our contracts. These are majorly service industry products, be it the Wellness Co, if people know. It's one of India's biggest wellness company. Then I work with Dr. Pankaj from last, I think, 7 years. We both started a journey together. I believed in what he was doing. It was ethical skincare, ethical aesthetics. And our relationship just grew. And now I'm a brand ambassador for all of them. Lux has opened Lux Salon. I work with them from about, again, 7, 8 years. They've opened 200 stores. And I'm the face where wherever I travel, they are with me. I go to a lot of other cities with them. Again, because I believed in the service. And they believed in me. And you know how many influencers have gone back to them and told them, all these brands, that can we not have a deal like Harpreet? And they all have told them that you don't create the content that she creates. Because I don't upsell anything. I showcase what I am going through with that brand in that moment. Good, bad, ugly, how we figured it, something if that went wrong, what the doctor helped me with. I think as honest you are with your audience, they believe in you and so does the brand. So
lovely words to hear from content creators that they're not essentially sort of really doing a Control-C, Control-V on the copy that a marketer gives them. They're sort of putting out their own experiences. And this entire aspect that you spoke about in terms of saying that you've been working for 5 and 7 years. How many marketers in the room who perhaps haven't even worked with a celebrity beyond 3 years? And we negotiate new contracts with them, or we replace Amir Khan with Shah Rukh Khan, someone else with someone else. And here is, I think, something to learn clearly, that I think this is a new movement when I think marketers will perhaps be able to sort of see that synergy, the amount of, I think, uptake in their sort of, I think, you know, sales and all of that. And building on that, imagine, so is there a story that you have as well in terms of similar, where you've worked with a fair amount of similar or continual influencers, Anupam?
Actually, a lot. In last 4 or 5 years, even if you see the kind of partnerships we've done with not only influencers, but also our celebs, has been renewed for 3rd or the 4th time. We choose them, and I strongly believe they choose us, being aware of what we are, what we want to do, and what is the core audience we want to talk about, what is the problem we're trying to solve. And parallelly, I think we spoke about it last time also, we have a influencer macro list of around 5,000 people, 5,000 influencers who regularly work with us, and they have been working with us for almost 3.5 years now, and that list is growing up. Even for mid and top level influencers, I'm not talking celebrities, influencers who talk to their specific communities, we have been doing more deals like this, what Harpreet is mentioning. Like, sign them for 3 years and let them make their content in their own way rather than guiding them and dictating, okay, this is what I want to say. Because the audience that he is resonating with, or people who are following him, actually understand the way he talks. There's a connotation to the way he expresses what he believes, what he doesn't. If you dictate that and make it all about your core comm that you are given the responsibility to deliver, it doesn't really work. Authenticity is the key.
Authenticity is the key, but let me sort of now again play real question. So Harpreet, tell us, in the last 1 or 2 years, some brand has said, Harpreet, aapko, you have to wear only these clothes. You have to only be looking in this camera on this lens, and you have to sort of do this. I'm sure you've got those briefs as well.
I do.
How often do you get those briefs? And for example, if you say that I won't do it, how often does that campaign not come to you?
मुझे लगता है अब ना in recent years things have really changed. Marketers have understood that they have to give us our voice.
Let's give a round of applause to all the marketers.
You know, I think because we all see ये ना नई इंडस्ट्री है कुशल, ये हम सब सीख रहे हैं, हम ना इसको फिगर आउट कर रहे हैं अभी. तो पहले जब ब्रांड ब्रीफ्स आते थे, आई एम श्योर पहले ऐड के लिए आते थे, उनको लगा इसको कॉपी पेस्ट कर दो इन्फ्लुएंसर के साथ, बस ये कपड़े पहनो, इस तरह देखना है, ये प्रोडक्ट पकड़ना है. अब ना हम सब ग्रो कर रहे हैं, अब उनको भी लग रहा है कि नहीं नहीं इसकी अपनी एक वॉइस है, लोग इससे चाहे वो जोक है, चाहे वो सीरियसनेस है, वो बच्चे के साथ कुछ कर रही है, उसका एक वे ऑफ डूइंग इट है. तो आई थिंक बहुत सारे मार्केटर्स ओपन होते जा रहे हैं, अभी भी आते हैं लेकिन अब ज़्यादा आते हैं. हमारा ब्रांड कलर ये है, सो वी वुड सजेस्ट एंड वी टोटली रिस्पेक्ट दैट. दे विल बी 3-4 शॉट्स दे वुड वांट अस टू डू कि ये प्रोडक्ट है, इसको इस तरफ से भी दिखाना है, इससे भी और इससे भी, एंड वी डू दैट. बट देन व्हेन दे आर स्ट्रिक्ट, सपोज मुझे कई बार बोला था इंडियाज़ नंबर 1 प्रोडक्ट, तो आई विल नॉट से दैट बिकॉज आई डोंट बिलीव इन इट. मैंने इतना यूज़ ही नहीं किया उस प्रोडक्ट को, या मैं अपने बच्चे को अगर वो चीज़ नहीं खिला रही या पिला रही हैं जो भी कर रही, तो मैं किसी और के बच्चे को कैसे करा.
Tell me, do you think that a lot of people in your entire community of influencers thinks the same way as well? That you know, the way that you just spoke, do you think everyone has that sort of passion and rigor that, you know, I will feel for the brand and, you know, only then? What do you think, you know, some of your peers are doing?
क्या मतलब क्वेश्चन पूछा है ना मुझसे.
सच बोलना.
नहीं, why should I lie? Again, we are all learning. शायद मैं भी जब स्टार्टिंग डेज में थी, शुरू किया था काम, तो मुझे भी लगता होगा अच्छा ये ब्रांड आया, आई शुड डू दिस ब्रांड. बट अपने अंदर ही ना कॉन्शियस होती है कुशल. मैं जैसे गमीज़ को प्रमोट नहीं करती अंडर एनी सर्कमस्टेंस. यू पे मी एनी अमाउंट ऑफ मनी, आई विल नॉट डू इट, बिकॉज मैं अपने बच्चे के मुंह में नहीं डाल सकती वो, तो मैं किसी और माँ को क्यों बोलूँ, आप भी उन बच्चे को ही खिलाएं. बट देन दिस इज योर ओन कॉन्शियस, सो माई कॉन्शियस डजंट अलाउ मी टू यूज़ अ लॉट ऑफ प्रोडक्ट्स एंड आई डोंट यूज़ दैट.
I'm going to pick on a lovely word called collaboration, Ganpati, and tell me how important really is this word, and what is really, from your perspective, how do you define collaboration with a content creator?
See, honestly speaking, you know, there's a brand and there are certain values the brand entity has. And there's nothing physical about it. There's an emotional relationship with the brand marketers live every day and the consumers live it every day. Brand marketers tend to voice it. The consumers don't voice it. They just live it. Okay. Now here is another partner in the equation. What we need to understand is, unlike other communication vehicles of communication, you know, which are standardized, a TVC, a 30-second TVC, a DVC of a certain length, you know, an outdoor creative of a certain format is fixed. Here you have another individual working with you in creation of that communication. Now, if you are able to speak to that individual and bring that individual on board to the reasons why your brand exists and the reason why the consumer needs to look at your brand. The voice being of the creator, the voice not being prescribed by the brand marketer. I think you've hit a sweet spot. And then it unleashes a whole new space. For example, you know, here I would want to hint, influencer marketing is not a new bit. While the name is new, they have been, you know, your next door aunties, elderly grandmothers, they were all influencers of a different nature. They had influence in a certain scope. They weren't categorized as a segment of media. And how did you build brands? How did brand build those equations with them? If we keep that in mind, and to the point on authenticity, if we bring that as a core ingredient to this communication, I think we will end up crafting a collaborative ecosystem. Brand marketers, unlike what Harpreet was saying, you know, when you stifle your brand in such strong terms and conditions, you leave no space for anyone to partner with you, to bring alive a new dimension. The language has changed. This is a living individual who's partnering you as media. It's not an inanimate object as a television screen or a billboard.
I love that word.
It's a living individual. How can you fail to collaborate? It's as simple as that. And if you want that individual to be with you, heart and soul, you might as well do it. And honestly speaking, if you are the ROI chaser, then I would tell you this is the best bang for your buck. So do it even if it is your interest alone in mind. Even then, it is the most important.
So great ROI, great, I think it's so much of passion that marketers are sort of using for this entire new creative economy sort of burst that India is going through as well. There are certain categories, of course, like yourself. I'm sure that, you know, being in beauty and personal care and all of that as well, Vidushi, is there a certain thought process ever that, you know, from a marketing lens that let's do this, influencer marketing is the first and most important part of this marketing campaign?
It is. For us, it is the single most important pillar for a marketing. And it's been there. So in my previous brand also, when I was handling personal care, it was the single most important pillar there. Even with Swiss Beauty, it is the single most important pillar. It is a month-on-month investment. So while as a brand, I can choose to have in a year 1 or 2 or 3 campaigns depending on the season, which are high seasons for us as a brand. But influencer marketing is a continuous engine for us, and it has to be. Like Ganpati said, so it's basically, you know, we have today in India, influencer marketing is strongly rising since the last 4-5 years. We have living individuals who are the biggest recommendation engine there, coupled with you know, Meta and YouTube ecosystem. So I think it is a part of media, but it is a continuous media, which is a very important pillar for beauty, for sure.
So Harpreet, coming back to you as well, how important is it to be able to speak exactly what's in your heart and in a language which you feel? So tell us, for example, maybe an experience of yours that you've done something which is maybe in Punjabi, in Hindi, or some other language, and what do you think has been, I think, say, brand love, which the CMOs told you, saying, superb, kamal kar diya?
जब मैं अपने तरीके से बात करती हूँ, that is what I think. So I have this whole thing when I come to an event, I talk 2 minutes about it in a certain way. I'll have a dryer in my hand and a makeup brush, and like I'm off to. So people now, brands tell me, bas aise hi baat karni, you know. And I like now how things are turning. The tables are turning. There people are telling me when we ask them for brief, so they'll give us what they want to promote, but they'll say we want it in Harpreet's language. मुझे as I was sharing, मुझे ऐसे बड़े-बड़े jargons नहीं आते, कुशल. मैं बहुत दिल से काम करती हूँ. मैं जो भी काम करती हूँ, और जो सच्ची में प्रोडक्ट के लिए लगता है, वो जेन्युइनली बता देती हूँ कि मुझे ऐसा लगा, मैंने बहुत एंजॉय किया. कभी अपसेल नहीं करती जब तक खुद कन्विंस ना हो, और कई बार जब बहुत कन्विंस हो जाती हूँ तो फिर बड़े यू नो खुशी से स्टोरीज करती हूँ, बोलती हूँ गाइस जस्ट लुक व्हाट इट हैज़ डन टू मी. आई थिंक दैट इट कम्स अक्रॉस ऑन द ग्राम. आप झूठ नहीं बोल सकते, आपकी आंखों में दिखता है वो. मैं बहुत ब्रांड्स इन्फ्लुएंसर्स देखती हूँ, एवरी डे दे हैव अ न्यू प्रोडक्ट इन द हैंड, यू नो, आज ये लगाना है, आज वो. मैं कई बार मन में सोच रही होती हूँ, कल तो ये बताया था, मैंने पीछे शॉपिंग करी है बड़ी लिपस्टिक्स की, ये क्योंकि कुछ कलर्स किसी ने बताया कि ये आलिया भट्ट लगाती है, ये दीपिका पादुकोण, तो मैंने भी बड़े शौक से खरीद लिए. ट्रस्ट मी, दोस कलर्स वर नॉट सेम. वो फर्स्ट कॉपी वाला था वो, एंड आई वाज सो डिसअपॉइंटेड ना. तो नाउ देव लॉस्ट मी ना. मैं खुद एक इन्फ्लुएंसर होकर किसी को फॉलो कर रही थी, तो मैंने तो ट्रस्ट ही खत्म हो गया. ऐसे यार नहीं, इनको नहीं फॉलो करना. इमेजिन बीइंग इन द इंडस्ट्री. सो
well, fantastically well spoken. Anupam, if you had to sort of, I think, ever be in a predicament saying you only have X budget, and in that budget you can do 3 things only, what would those 3 things be in terms of your top choices as a digital marketer, as a marketer?
Influencer marketing, influencer marketing, influencer marketing.
She has answered. We'll do a barter deal with her later. But no, but
चलो ठीक है, आपको एक deal तो मिल गया Harpreet for sure.
But a great product. No, but that's a very convoluted question. I mean, it depends where are you as a brand, which category you are in, what are the competition, what are your objectives.
ठीक है, if you had 1,000 rupees, you had 1,000 rupees, suddenly your CFO said 1,000 nahi, next month you have 100. Yeah? And then after that, from 100 it went to 50. So what I'm saying is, what are the few things which will be in that 50 as well? What would have also been 1,000? Is there any of that?
So I would rather answer it so that it sounds correct.
Okay. Let's make it sound correct.
Yeah. See, if say 1,000 rupees and I don't know my future investments, my budget, my brand values, everything intact, I would rather choose an influencer route, use that content, which is very authentic, on their platforms, use that on Google and Meta, which is your perf marketing, and use the same content because I have less money to make content. I'll use the same content on my website, so that everything looks seamless. Product description is there, comm is getting delivered, and the core audiences whom I'm trying to reach, I'm able to reach them via influencers organically and build that reminder via perf.
Fantastic. Ganpati, how important is it then in terms of from a marketer's perspective to choose the right influencers? Do you think in this world of AI and real-time data, how is that going to change the narrative of doing things in influencer marketing?
See, it's a very important variable. Currently, a lot of the world is driven by absolute numbers. Okay, we all started, and let me be guilty of that. We started with numbers. And then we realized that numbers are just one part of the truth, as is most of the cases with marketing. It's just one part of the truth. Once you start unveiling layers, there have been times when I've dished the most popular, probably, creator in that field to choose someone who's been more authentic, and we've seen the journey unlock very differently. Because the fact is, there is a certain element which, and why many a times marketers have that problem, because there is a number, there's a scale. Two, there is also a brand sync or synergy which we're seeking for in the individual who's doing it. Because, ultimately you want a consumer, but you want a consumer who is, part of that psyche or believes in those values which you want your creator to be part of as an ecosystem. You also want your brand to stand in the, kind of sync with that ecosystem. So that's fundamental. What's problematic is to come to that decision. And I will tell you that road is paved with tons of errors. I'm guilty of being part of it for many years. Honestly speaking, it's dawned on me pretty late. But I am getting to see that more and more people are making less of those errors. And honestly speaking, it's also the influencer ecosystem which is helping you get it better. Today, it's not that more is more, but it's actually the right is more. And that's where we are focusing. That's where concepts of authenticity come into play. It's not about the shock value of it. Today, we don't chase virality. We chase the right thing and hope that it reaches to people. If it becomes viral, it's great. But that's not what we are chasing.
So you're saying now the briefs don't ever have that saying, isko viral kar do.
See, ichha sabke andar hai. Let's be honest. Do I not want my content to be viral? Yes, I want. But if I hand out a brief, I am sure with so many years having passed working with influencer ecosystem, that's the most unrealistic brief. Because I understand hand on heart, there is no creator who can certify to say, ye viral hoga. We all do our best and we hope that the content gets received. Because many a times, it also takes a very different turn. I won't name it if you push me to it too. That many a times, a lot of my content has gone through the roof, but I realize it's gone through the roof for a different reason. Now, that doesn't help my cause. So frankly, for the right reasons, right set of individuals.
So when the content becomes super viral, as marketers, as agency people, all of those, we get these things called performance bonus variables and all those things. Arpreet, कभी brand किसी ने बोला है कि ये piece बहुत चल गया, so now take additional money or maybe take some bonus?
नो ब्रांड ये बोलता है कि इतने व्यूज कमिट करोगे तभी कैंपेन मिलेगा, और हम बोलते हैं हम कभी नहीं करेंगे, बिकॉज आई डोंट नो, एंड यू नो पेड कंटेंट डजंट डू वेरी वेल जनरली विद इन्फ्लुएंसर्स अंटिल इट्स नॉट शोड इन अ वेरी.
My question was, आप
If it did
PR हो
No.
गया, अच्छा व्यूज
No.
आ गए,
कोई
किसी ने-
चश्मा,
किसी
कोई
ने-
beauty
किसी
product
ने-
कभी नहीं मिला है.
किसी ने भी बोल दिया कि now sort of you did really well and now sort of like everyone gets some bonus, some incentive, something else as well. Do you think that should be started? Saying I did
yaar,
fairly
why not?
well, and do we think that maybe we should create for saying if we have certain measures for success parameters, they have to have that so they have better skin in the game?
Yes, let's share the pie, na? Why not?
That's happening.
Actually
As we-
happening.
That's already happening. Let's come to
That's
you.
already happening.
Okay, so tell us more in terms of if you're giving some more money. That's fine. This is very interesting. So we want to know
to hear
whether
you.
we're giving some money or not.
Very important.
In fact, the ecosystem is evolving with respect to that. And in fact, for that matter, Instagram as a platform, today the creators that we're working with, there is a commission-based model which is happening even as we speak. And we are working with a lot of creators to work on that. In
Commission
fact,
is fine. I'm saying ye ho gaya. From your side, I'm saying this is your bonus.
no, but that is exactly what it is.
Okay.
When a influencer is putting out a video, they put something like comment for link, and when the links come in, for every link click that they get from the consumer, it is also the virality of the content. So more views it gets, more clicks and comments it gets, and with every link click, they also earn a commission. So there is a whole monetization which is happening in the ecosystem as we speak, and the brands are leveraging that.
हमारा
as well.
क्वेश्चन ये नहीं है. हमारा question
You're avoiding the question, but I know we're definitely sort of short of time. But
Basically
I still have just one or two quick rapid fires. I'm going to start with you, starting from you. YouTube or Instagram?
YouTube.
Harpreet,
Instagram.
what's yours?
I work with both.
No, one.
Insta.
Insta.
Who is, according to you, the best influencer India has?
Best influencer.
मैं यहीं बैठी हूँ मतलब. याद रखना हाँ ये.
Well, excluding the people on the panel.
एक नाम बता दो.
SRK.
SRK.
देखो
You can take the same name if you want to, or you can. Okay.
क्यों मरवाना चाहते हैं?
Even I love Shahrukh. What Shahrukh
who's
did
your-
बेटा, उसके बाद also I love him. Like I love him.
What about you?
I am bound to say Tapsi Pannu. That's our brand ambassador.
If I was to sort of say content again in language,
This is paid promotion.
Anupam, language content, English content.
Both.
One,
India.
pick.
No, I mean you can't. I mean you have to, if you are
No,
a
what's your
brand.
as a marketer? What would you put your bets on? Language or
Language.
English? Okay.
Language.
English, language. I love talking in
Certainly.
Hindi.
Language certainly.
Sorry, I
Vidushi.
didn't get the question.
Creating content in English vis-a-vis different languages.
Languages.
Awesome. So we have some commonalities between marketers. We have some commonalities between creators as well. We do have some platforms they all love as well. And just my final question, the most loved brand for you, or what do you love the most? Which brand is your favorite brand? And it could be influencer-led.
Favorite brand.
You can say Lenskart as well, but don't say
I
Lenskart.
mean, let's start from her and I'll think about it.
He's wanting time. Vidushi,
Yeah, I would say Maggie, Nestle Maggie.
Maggie, what's for yours?
I can't think. मुझे सब सारे बड़े अच्छे ब्रांड्स हैं यार, इतनी मेहनत कर रहे हैं सारे. I don't know.
एक तो जो आप बहुत प्यार करते हो उससे, meaning it's part of your daily life, or you feel for it, or you love it, or brand love.
हाँ बताओ, मैं सोचती हूँ जल्दी से.
Ganpati is thinking as well.
बड़ा clear.
बड़ा clear है, चलो ठीक है.
Dawat.
ठीक है, we'll come to you.
Period.
Dawat. So
Dawat.
clearly.
Simple. No two thoughts on it. I work on it.
I thought that was
Let
not
me
an option.
unashamed about the fact that I love. I love my work. I love the work which people put in on my brand. And that's exactly what makes it what it is.
So he's given you a hint. You can say something if you want to.
Most loved brand, of course, Mom Wears Prada. Like I love that brand.
Come on, we're just getting back to all of us.
The way she
Come on.
creates this is like.
चलो ठीक है. If he said we all said about the brands we love, what's one brand you just hate? Yes.
I don't think I can name it here.
Of course you can name it here.
But-
we'll keep it Closed walls, right?
No, 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 not
No,
happening.
no recording
I'll
MMA.
WhatsApp you.
Acha, okay. He's going to WhatsApp me. Come on, Ganpati.
See, I'll tell you, I hate a lot of bits of brands when they step
अरे
out of
एक ब्रांड का नाम बताओ.
Brand का नाम नहीं
ये
बता
political.
सब
Come
बेचारे
on.
कोशिश करते, अच्छी कोशिश करते. Sometimes they slip up. You can't hate them for it.
He wants virality here.
So I'm telling you.
I don't,
अर्पित,
I don't
एक
like
तो ब्रांड
brands.
आपको बिल्कुल पसंद नहीं है.
जिस भी ब्रांड के अंदर शुगर और ये सब चीजें होती है ना, जो झूठ झूठ प्रमोट करते हैं, मुझे
झूठ
बहुत
झूठ
गुस्सा
प्रमोट
आता है
करते हैं.
ब्रांड के ऊपर बहुत गुस्सा, खाने के बच्चों के स्पेशली.
विदुषी आपको एक ब्रांड नाराज करता है.
I can't take this viral, so.
Well, thank you so much for being a great audience. I hope you've got some insights from this interesting panel of marketers. And thank you once again, Team MMA, Monica, and the entire team for having us and being able to sort of talk about this really new, interesting, emerging space. Lots of numbers being spoken. I can tell you one thing for sure. I was at this very interesting place Mr. Modi spoke at Waves last week. And the number that he spoke of, and he says, India will spend 25,000 crore on content marketing in 2025-26. So with that, thank you once again for having us. Good afternoon, good evening, and I hope the drill doesn't continue. Have a safe one.